So here we are now for the second part on this tree, and before I start, of course the tree had a good watering, and now I have to have a look at what's going on at the top, and therefore I have to remove all the wires that are in this tree. So that's the first work I'll have to do. So it's going to be a quick one, because these wires cannot really be reused. Well, you can use some small bits just to fix some drainage screens in the future or something like that, but it's going to be difficult to reuse all these wires, because, well, they're very twisted. But I think the best way to start this is to start from the top, so I'm going to change the camera. So I'm going to remove the wires. This is copper, it's just a electrical wire. It's impossible to reuse this. But you can always bring it back to a factory that makes something brand new of it. So this is the time when you can control what's alive, what's dead. So this is dead material up to here. This is dead. And this one's dead too, I think. Yes. I think I have one or two that are really, well, there's no life in it. So they have to be removed anyway. Because if you don't do that, it will fuse and you'll end up with gaps. So you might ask yourself, well, what was the purpose of putting wire on this when we're removing everything now? Well, most of these trees will now stay in the position where I wanted them to be. For at least a few days, but that's all I need to get them back where I want them to be, and tie them together with raffia. So I'm just removing all the wires, and it's nothing spectacular. This is aluminum wire. Going to lower the camera a little so you can follow. This is already interesting. Maybe some things are fusing, maybe not. It's not that important at this moment. Still in a starting stage. This is the dead one. So he has to come out. This is a little spire which is not happy. poor thing had its home there. This seems all quite healthy. Okay. This is alive, but this little piece here is dead. So getting this out. So I'm just cleaning up the whole tree. And here comes the sun. I said it was going to be a sunny day today, but it was not really that sunny. It's still quite chilly here in Belgium. So you see, even when I'm removing all these wires, all these trees stay where they should stay. A few pieces of raffia and a few wires here. Scuppereds, very hard, and it hurts. I think I have it all now. Oh, this is a little interesting spot. See, two trees that I tied together. There's some cutting in, which proves that the trees grew. Just do a quick turn to see if I have everything. Still on here. This branch is dead. But from this part it's alive. You can see it is green, I hope. Can you see it? Yes, you should. Now this is dead. This is dead. And it is important to remove the dead material because it's only going to take up sunlight, and you can never make a fusion project in 1 or 2 years. It is impossible. Some people do it a rather different way. They just put trees together and then plant them in full ground, and then they let the thing grow. And after a few years, it is huge. It is monstrous, it's very big, and it looks terrible because it just is terrible. Oh, so this is a dead stump, but I have two new shoots here, so just going to cut back this part. And Carpinus are fast growers, and it's not unlikely that this new shoot will reach the top of the tree in no time. This is sticking through the whole foam. Okay, so it's out. And I think I have it all. Let's have a look from a distance now. So this is what do we have now? Well, of course the trees are not staying against the foam because nothing is holding them together. But that does not matter What matters is that we have healthy material that is growing in the right direction, and that all the dead parts are gone. You can already see that some of the tips are starting to grow. So now I will have to take some raffia and just lead the new growing material the right way and tighten it, because fusion is all about tension. Missed the wire here. And that part, no, it's healthy. Okay, some raffia. Now the best thing to do this is just to make a little loop like so. Put this into this, make it huge so that you easily can come around all the trees like that, and then start from the bottom and make sure you have some spare room, because this raffia will get entangled with everything that is lying on your table. And now comes the hilarious part, where you have to tie everything while you make sure that there's not too much crossing, and while you are trying to fill as many gaps as you possibly can. Some branches can be included in the fusion. You might want to leave some thick one out to maybe give the starting point of a of a real branch. That's best to do that with the really big ones, and include as much as you can of the smaller ones. It's easier to do this with a turntable, believe me. And here's the spider, the angry one. Trying to distribute it all. This could become a branch. This one, I'd like to include it. So it's always a question of pushing and pressing it where you want it. So I did 10 centimeters now, trying to include all the little branches. And now I'm going to go down again and just add some more pressure. And here I will make a knot, which is very important. I like to do this with different pieces of raffia, because it is always possible that it snaps and then you're back from back to zero. So it's easier to do this in 3 or 4 times. So now I start from here. So this is the part where the foam disappears. The foam comes up to this point, and then it's all just little trees. I'm just checking if everything here is alive. It's not that difficult, because if it's not alive, well, it's going to break if you bend it. So I think it's okay now. Now this is an interesting part, the top part, because here you can already start to make a division in order to get 2 main directions in your tree. So you have you could start the crown from here and separate this, but of course it is better to have not a V-split, more something like a stronger branch and then a weaker one that could go to the back a little, so it gives a little more perspective to your composition. So now I only have to start from here. And as you might see, some of the branches are just not included in the fusion, because they could well become lateral branches. Okay. And another thing is, in the beginning of the spring, when everything starts to grow, you can see what you want to keep, and always, because these parts are of course the apical parts of the plants are the strongest. So it's good in the beginning of spring to cut back some of the top growth, so that new shoots will emerge from the bottom. And if they emerge from the bottom, well, of course, the bottom will thicken up, and the year after you will have more shoots to include in your fusion. So now I must take care to keep together what I want to keep together. Make this a separation. And this is quite important, because it's very likely that this year the top part might start to fuse. So everything that grows laterally and out of the main trunk, I will call it, you can keep out of it, because it already starts the ramification. Okay, so now I'm going back. And there's no need to put any more copper or aluminum wire on this, because the fact that you can move the branches will keep them in position. So this is the second big branch that I'm making now. Same principle. And just going back. I'm going to tie this together. And I think I might use one piece of wire just to make sure that the two dominant branches here are growing the way I want them to grow, so that we have a good start from the first year. Like so. Okay. So this is the main part of the tree. This is going to be a back branch, and I think it's not bad. The direction is quite okay. But since this is the apex, the real apex of the tree, I think I'm going to put one piece of wire around that, because you want the apex to come slightly towards you. So this is the front. So about, well, a little movement this way, and maybe then just up, because I have a branch here which will fill a gap. I might just bend this a little, and I think this is gonna be it. So let's look at this from a distance. So here we are now with the finished project for today. Well, finished, it's not finished at all, but that's all I can do about it for the moment. Lots of little dead branches fell on the surface, and we'll have to remove them. But I think we did well today. Lots of compression on these young trees. From this part, well, everything is touching, so quite sure that this is going to be fusing quite soon. The bottom of the tree, well, that's always an extra problem, but probably next year I will have to get this out of the pot again. And then with all the spare little trees that I air layered, you might remember this from another video, I will just close the gaps, tight it up again, and hope that the fusion will take place then. So it's not a bad, another bad start. I have some branches here that can be positioned later. Probably some new shoots like this one will emerge. And well, that's basically it for today. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.